Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't really disagree that Papias is a source from the early 2nd century, so let's just put that aside. Now, keep in mind, how this Muslim utilizes Eusebius and the arguments from Bar Ehrman's book, Jesus Before the Gospels. The reason why Eusebius says that Papias believes in, quote, many myths and fairy tales is because of the fact that Papias believes in something called the literal millennial kingdom. The literal millennial kingdom is literally a theological opinion that was held by Justin Martyr, and you see this in his dialogue with Trifle in chapter 110. Eusebius believed that doctrine to be false, but just because Papias believed in what Eusebius believed to be heretical does not affect the reliability of Papias himself. So I could quite literally turn that around to you and say that since Eusebius had, one, Nestorian beliefs and even had false historical assertions, Eusebius denied the word consubstantial because he literally thinks that the word consubstantial in the creed was added by Emperor Constantine. So basically what I am saying here is that what Eusebius is doing here is just being biased with history, and simply just wasn't a big fan of the idea of millennianism, which literally has a patristic basis, by the way, as I showed with Justin Martyr. Now, I'd like to move on to your second part of the argument, where you said that John the Apostle and John the Elder are two distinct people. There being distinct Johns in of itself is a huge debate. I mean, if anything, in Eusebius' chronicle, he even at one point believed that Papias knew John the Apostle. Eusebius even admitted that Papias learned directly from, quote, the elder John, who you believe to be distinct from John the Baptist. But I could argue that he misunderstood the words of Papias. Papias plainly states that, quote, he learned from the elders, and even a few sentences later, he describes the words of elders in his Ecclesiastical History 3.39.4. Quote, what Andrew of Peter said, or Philip, or Thomas, or John, or Matthew, or any of the Lord's disciples, and whatever Aristion and the elder of John, who are the disciples of the Lord, were saying. It literally seems as if Papias was using the name elder to the apostles. Now keep in mind that John the Apostle was certainly an elder of the church. I mean, he was pretty damn old at the time. Also, something else to take in consideration is that Papias was a literal colleague and contemporary of Polycarp himself. I mean, this is pretty historically undeniable, since Polycarp pretty much knew John, and it is pretty likely that Papias could have as well. So appealing to Eusebius won't really do any justice for your argument whatsoever.